Hey Liv,
Hello.
how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Wait,
How was the day so far?
it's been good. It's very gray here. So cold and gray. So not my favorite time of the season though. Not. I like it when it's more sunny.
I understand. Good. So, Liv, your new album, Kali Yuga, is to be out on January 27th. So, would you like to tell me a bit about the songwriting and production behind this new upcoming album?
Yes. Finally, because it's already been I think we were done with the record and master and everything in February already. But since the COVID and everything, we had to postpone the album. So it's finally going to be out in January 27th. Yeah, that's correct. And I guess, I mean, we had more time this time to do the recording and to make the songs because of COVID, as like every other band. Every band needs to do something during the COVID years. So like all other bands, we decided to record an album. So and I think we started to write the album in the beginning of 2020. Yeah, because at first I was gonna do a reunion with Sister Sin the summer 2020. So I was the LiV SiN was like on just like on ice. So I was focusing on Sister Sin. And after a while, we realized with Sister Sin that we were probably not going to do the reunion this summer. And then I started to write music with LiV SiN instead, because it's like we had to do something. Everything was locked down and really boring. So we started a process of making some music where we're not meeting each other back then. We were like sending stuff.
Yes.
I mean, we were not very, Sweden was not that strict with the restrictions, but still we didn't meet so many people. So we were sending stuff to each other. And then after a while, I think we met once a week, me and my drummer Per and one of my guitar player, Patrick, we are the three who made a record. So we met kind of once a week, whenever we were able to, and tried out the songs and just worked through a lot more than we used to do. So it took longer time with the record because we had much more time. And also we had, at the same time we were writing, we were in the process of finding a new label. So everything was at the same time, and we didn't know if we were going to release the record ourselves or if we're going to get a label. So yeah, so we didn't have a deadline, which made us just like probably go a bit more wild and let the songs more develop. And also we had more songs we tried out a lot of more songs than the previous records was like, we need 10 songs and we did 10 songs almost. So this time we had more ideas that never got finished. This time at least, might use them later on, we'll see. But we had more time to try things out, to develop the sound, and to just like, we experimented with two new tunings. We started with some kind of down tune F tuning, and now we are in down A tuning instead. So yeah, so we experimented a lot with those things actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Before we're like, okay, we're going to do this like this.
And was there any particular concept that was put behind this album?
I would not say that it is a particular concept, but probably it's a little bit, it's hard to say if it's darker. I feel like I always tend to be dark in my lyrics, even though I'm not a very dark person, but the lyrics I write tend to be about more the darker side of humanity, or the darker side of living in the world, etc. And it didn't get better during the COVID times. It got, because I mean everyone was frustrated, and as a musician, the only thing, but the thing that we live for most is playing live, and it just like vanished. So then you start to think about a lot of things, and you get very deep. So I feel like maybe the subjects on the record is a little bit more darker, but it doesn't have like one unit. I took a lot of, I mean, since we also didn't go out that much or were doing so much things, I started to like, what am I going to write about? Or, I mean, I get writer's block and like, oh, what am I going to write about? So I found different subjects or things that just interested me. So one of the songs is, I think I got influenced by a documentary from a prison, and I got a bit influenced of the idea of being locked in a prison for life, and sometimes not even being the right person in the prison, and having someone outside, and that it kind of, you just like feel like the presence of the other persons is almost making it harder, because you know that you will never get out to that other person, and the more they care, the more you feel actually bad or trapped. And also like the idea of being just trapped in a prison, in a cell, where only you can hear your heartbeat and your breathing and nothing else. So that's one of the songs called Forget My Name. And I mean, I never been in prison, so it just like, I was just like seeing that documentary and found it interesting to choose that to write about. And then I had another idea I just put out on my my social media that okay, I don't know what to write about, I have writer's block, tell me something. And one girl was writing about a previous relationship where she'd been abandoned by her partner, and then he got her whole friends and family against her as well. So that got also inspired me to write a song called Horizon in Black. Now I understand that the song I wrote is probably very dark because it's more about revenge, and I don't know if she wanted any revenge. But I just took that feeling that I got from her writing to me, and just what do you call it, over exaggerated a little bit in my mind. If you were a very revengeous person, how would you write, what would you do, or what would you wish, like that? So a little bit of from stuff outside, but also maybe a lot of frustration from being a musician and being in, I mean, everyone, not only musicians, but a lot of professions were like, when COVID came, it's like, yeah, we need to think again how to survive if this is gonna happen again, or what should we do? Because you were so, I mean, as a musician and a band, you really rely on live gigs. That's the only way you make any money. So you totally rely on live gigs. And then when that gets taken away from you, you're like, okay, what now? So that frustration, obviously, you can also probably hear in the new record. Yes.
Fantastic. And Kaliyuga is literally a name that came out from India. So what is this connection with you to India? Is there something that happened between you and India?
No, probably not. I really wish that I can come to India one day. I've never been there, but I found yoga a couple of years ago, and it helped me a lot to just find myself grounding. I didn't know what that was before I got into yoga, and I realized I'm a Vata person, and I'm very much all over the place and in the air all the time. And I found that yoga was grounding me to get back into my body instead of just being up in my head all the time. So for me, I try to meditate, and I just try to take that wisdom, which I think that we in the more Western world, we don't have that wisdom at all. We don't, and I lack that wisdom. And I wish that when I was younger, that we could have a little bit of that as well, because we never learn how to look inward. We never learn how to try to focus, or how to find your like yourself in the body. We don't have that at all. So for me, that was like very, very good, and got me much newer and other perspectives than I ever had like before. And then I also I have a mother that is very interested in everything with all religions, but she's very, we have Buddhas all over the place. We have I have like, and also I was very, when I was a teenager, I really enjoyed the idea of Kali because I was very dark. So I got into that a lot. I read a lot about that, and my mother always took me to all these Buddhist temples, and showed me a lot about other religions, Hinduism, and more of those kind of religions than not only the ones that we have in the Western culture. And I'm not a religious person at all. I'm an atheist, but I get more drawn to the Eastern philosophy, because it's more like a philosophy and not so much of a religion. And then we have our new guitar player is he is from the UK, but he is from India as well. So his mom and dad is from India, and they moved to UK. So he's Indian British as well. So a little bit of connection at least. So yeah, and I really want to go to India someday and just see all these things that I just now see on TV, and more like experience the philosophy and culture.
Fantastic. And you have released 2 official videos for The Process and Anti-Hero. Is there any more videos coming up before the release of the album?
Yes, we have. We did 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago, we recorded for a song called I Am the Storm. So it's going to be one more video, probably going to be more videos, because we do them ourselves. So whenever we have, not always, we sometimes we do them ourselves. Anti-Hero we made ourselves, but I Am the Storm, we have a video director, the same girl that did The Process. But we're going to probably do more, because it's kind of fun, and today it feels kind of important always also to have more visuals. So lyrics video or real video, or combination maybe, but at least one more real video for it's gonna probably a week, maybe the same day as the release. I have not decided yet. Or a week before, 2 weeks before, we're gonna release the video for I Am the Storm.
Sounds good. And I know the album is almost 2 months away, but do you currently have any special plans on the day of the release?
Yes, we hope. Our plan is to have the release party the same day, and then we're gonna play the whole album. So right now we are in the rehearsal. We are rehearsing all the songs from the album, so we're gonna play the whole album. So it's gonna be fun, because we never done that. We never had like a real release party, and we have never done like a playthrough the whole album of any of my bands. So that's gonna be fun. We just need to find a good place here in Stockholm, and either the same day or the dates around the release. Yeah, we're gonna do. It's gonna be fun to play all the songs.
And any plans to have a live stream for the fans around the world?
Yes, we're working on that. That is also the idea, because I know that we have fans all over, and it's hard to get to Stockholm. So we are, and that's why we also do live streams and recordings from our rehearsal pretty often for our patrons, Patreon followers, and we do that so that we try to be get better and better at doing that, so that we can be able to do, when we have like this release party with a live gig playing all the songs, that we will be able to actually do a live stream, and it's not going to be like the first time and everything will fuck up. So yeah, so we are working on that, and we are doing small live streams from our rehearsal room from time to time for our patrons, just to build up before we're going to do the release party live stream.
Interesting. And 2023, a lot of bands have planned to storm the world with worldwide touring. So do you guys have any special plans to do some kind of touring in 2023, probably international touring?
I hope so, but that is also one of the the post-COVID things, that it feels like, you know, when there is a stop on the tram or the subway, and they're like trams, or there's one subway after another just waiting in line, and then the stop clears, which is now the COVID is over, but we are like in the very back of that line, and all the other bands, but a lot of other bands that already had touring planned for 2020 or 2021 or even 2022, they are before us in that line of the touring line. So we are a bit behind on the whole touring part. So I know that our Scandinavian agent is working hard to get us out in Scandinavia, at least, and we do have a couple of shows already. But then for the rest, it's a little bit harder. We are still working on booking agents and stuff like that. So we want to go out. We want to do Europe first, and then would really like to come back to the States as well. And I would love to go to South America, and also come back to. We did one show with LiV SiN in Tokyo, and I really want to go back there as well whenever it's possible. But right now we are doing our best to get some shows and get some tours, but it is hard, really hard to. We are not in we are not the first one in line there. So, but hopefully we will not give up.
And almost 20 years in making music with Sister SiN and LiV SiN now. So how has the journey been for you so far?
I kind of miss a bit the old days, to be honest. I can get a bit sentimental sometimes when I think about like 2008, 9, 10, when I was out with Sister SiN, and we had Victory Records as a label, and they did so much marketing. They like planned everything for us, and they booked flights and everything, and they were just like, you be there at that time and we pick you up at that time, and it just felt a little bit easier than today. We do everything. It's like we plan everything. We do a lot of marketing ourselves with the social media. Have to do the social media, digital marketing stuff, and you do like most of that yourself. I didn't think about that in 2009 or 10. I didn't think about doing anything on Facebook, etc. More than like, hey, we are on tour. Who is going to come out? Nothing more like than that. So it's much more today to do that is have nothing to do with the music, that you have to do around the music. And I feel like 10 years ago, I could focus on just being the vocalist of the band, trying to get my voice in shape, and just like see how we're going to do the best with the tour that we had, or the roading and etc. But today it's so much more, so I kind of miss that time. I know that today there's a lot of things that are good as well, or even better. I mean, you can connect directly with your fans, and like as we have a Patreon account, and we have people that support us through Patreon, and we connect with them. We can do it's more like it's like this actually kind of old school fan club, and I like that idea. So I know that today it's good also because you will be able to do promotion yourself instead of just relying on the label or something like that. But I still miss I still miss that I can just like be a songwriter and a singer. And now it's like I'm all over the place all the time. So I feel like I'm all over the place all the time with so much other stuff to do, and I kind of miss just writing music and just singing. So yeah, it's totally different than when I started with Sister Sin. So totally different, and both good and bad, of course.
And I know there has been a lot of great moments over your career, but is there something special that you want to share with me today?
I would say that the Mayhem Fest that we did with Sister Sin just before the split up was one of the coolest things I ever done. It was so great to be on a touring festival because everything was so planned, so well organized, and always a lot of people, and it was really good. And today, when I am a more of a independent do-it-yourself kind of a band, I miss that. I do. It was so cool to play those venues. It was outdoor, but you call it venues even if it's outdoors, probably. But yeah, it was so cool to play those places, go all over America, and with that great organization. And yeah, so that is one of the coolest things. Also very cool to play when Sister Sin played support band to Motörhead, also in America. That is something that I will never forget. It will always be one of the like main things I have done.
Amazing. And any merchandise plans to go along with the album Kali Yuga?
Merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is also one of the things that comes with this whole after COVID thing. We are kind of waiting to get that tour. So that if we know that we will have a longer tour, then we know that we can probably afford or try to afford to buy in new merch. If we don't have that, we don't know when we're going to sell all these kind of things, so we don't buy so much. We had a tour that was canceled in the last minute with a bigger band, and so we had the plans to do a lot of new merch for that, but now it's canceled, so we have to rethink a little bit. But we will do some stuff with the new designs. Of course, we're gonna have definitely gonna go do t-shirts, but also want to do. It would be cool to do more other stuff than just t-shirts. So, but it depends on when we get a good tour and what we can bring on that tour then. But our merch store is one of those that you can buy a lot of things to. We don't have the storage of it, so we can choose to have more stuff. So we are gonna put on new designs on the merch store, definitely, and so it's gonna be more than. And also when we will get out and play, we're gonna have at least new t-shirts and some other stuff around. Yeah, maybe some beanies, I like that, or some caps. I think that is nice as well. So we'll see, but definitely yes.
Interesting, interesting. And talking about the album, Kali, you got 10 mind-blowing songs, the heaviness, the vocals, the musicianship, everything is perfect and totally love this album. So as a
Oh,
band, how do you guys feel about the outcome of this album?
no, I mean, I am very happy with the album and I'm very proud of the album, but I know it is a little bit all over the place. But I like that because I think that both the first album and the second album were more like a unity. The songs were kind of in the same style, but different styles. The first album was more of the old heavy metal, and then we got a little bit more with we had keyboards in the second. We had Emil from Death Stars who produced it and recorded and produced it and mixed it. So he brought in a little bit of Death Stars into LiV SiN. And then on this album, we didn't have a producer. We did produce it ourselves. So it went a little bit wide all over the place and a lot of different styles. But I kind of like felt, what the fuck? These songs, I like that song, I like that song, I like that song. We put it in the same album anyway, and we see how it goes. So yeah, we are happy with the results, and we are happy with the album, and I really hope that the variety of songs then maybe something for not for everyone, I understand that, but maybe you like one song and not the other, and that's fine. But I hope that we can find a new audience also with this album, hopefully.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And Liv, finally, what would be the message that you want to give to your fans around the world?
To keep a close eye on our social media, follow us, please follow us, and please join our YouTube channel, because we are trying to communicate a lot more through social media and our YouTube channel and our Patreon, obviously. But we want to do more things than just be a band. So check out our YouTube channel and keep your eye open for any news on touring. And if we are coming to your town, we are definitely going to do more of a happening thing around the touring. We are going to do more like meet and greet, maybe do some other stuff, maybe we do some training, maybe Per will do some drum lessons, etc. We'll see what we can figure out once we get out on tour, but we are more and more thinking about how we can do more stuff with our fans when we are out on tour. So I hope that people will come out.
Absolutely. Awesome, awesome. And Liv, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on this interview. And thank you so much for giving us amazing music over the years. A great pleasure to listen to you. And the music is awesome. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful day.
Take care of yourself and have a great evening out there. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.